now. They sold the Nigerian crude oil 25 years, 30 years ahead, collecting royalty. That these people say, okay, now this is how much we make this, okay, we'll give you this. So they perpetuated the greatest fraud against Nigeria people through the Nigeria's number one source of forex. Crude oil is Nigeria's number one source of forex. They intentionally did not develop other sector. And then they faced it under Boko Haram from 1.8 million barrels of crude oil every day in 2014, 2015. That dwindled to 800 barrels, 800,000 barrels a day. They were stealing over 700,000 barrels of crude oil in Nigeria, straight up. NNPC and the rest of them, they were making other schemes. They were scheming and stealing from Nigeria. Whatever the pieces of, whatever peanut they paid them, royalty, from the crude oil. NNPC opened another shop and they called it subsidy. Before these guys came in, Nigeria was spending 250 billion, 300 billion, the most 800 billion a year on subsidy. Petrol was 87 naira. These guys came in, subsidy jumped to over 400 billion naira a month. Petrol price jumped, diesel price jumped, everything jumped. These guys actually schemed the, what do you call it, the refineries in Nigeria, 4 of them, with the capacity to actually refine up to 500,000 barrels of crude oil a day. They ensure that it's not working because they have their own, what do you call, distilling, whatever, in Malta. They had a deal in Malta, bringing refined crude oil of the poorest quality to Nigeria. Why lying to Nigerians that Dangote and Co, once the refinery starts, this issue of importation will become a thing. Baba, these guys doubled, what do you call it? They doubled subsidy. They tripled it in a month. And yet, they did not tell Dangote that he will never get any crude oil. When they managed to get royalty from the sale of crude oil, they converted to paying subsidy. It's like saying Nigeria sold crude oil, collected $200 million. These guys have already opened the door, subsidy of $300 million. It has always been like this. So at a point, they don't even remit any money again. They robbed Nigeria. God. Mercilessly. Then they went on to the Central Bank of Nigeria. And pull out nearly $10 billion in tranches. They said they were ferrying the money to Dangote. Right? At all, I'm bad. Half bread is better than none. If his refinery can refine 650,000, he said his refinery can still do 45,000. So if you are doing 45,000 and you say the liter of petroleum they use in Nigeria in a day, they said now about 2 million. In a month, you are using about 63 or 60 something million barrel of crude, petroleum. So not barrel, liter. 60 something million liters. If Dangote is producing 20 million of that, maybe that means that Nigeria will not be paying subsidy on 60 million times 30. That's a 1.8 billion liters. 60 million times 10, 600 million times 10, 600, 1.8 billion liter. Let's say you are using 1.8 billion liter petrol in a month. And each liter costs 1,500 naira. But they can't sell it to you at 1,500 naira. So they have to subsidize it so that you can buy it for 700 naira, 800 naira. The difference of 700 naira is what is called subsidy. So if you are importing 1.8 billion liters, then you have to pay subsidy of, to pay subsidy of 70 naira. No, hang on. No. 700 naira on each liter. 700 naira times 1.8 billion liter. You know how much that is? And somebody is going to refine 20 million a day. So 20 million times, that's 600 million. So out of 1.8 billion, somebody has the capacity to refine 600 million. That means instead of paying subsidy of 1.8 billion, to your friends, in dollars, you only just pay them 1.2 billion subsidy. That's 600 million that is refined locally. That will create jobs, and you can begin to give the alternative. In fact, you can now give the subsidy to Dangote in Naira, or even give the subsidy to him in crude oil. Abi? The problem is partially solved. Don't think I'm trying to sound on behalf of a Dangote here. I'm just trying to make a sense that, okay, if you won't reduce people's problem, which costs all this wahala, Abi, then you reduce what you are importing and paying subsidy on. Support the one you promised that you give crude oil to. But the problem is that there is no crude oil for him per se. They don't have crude oil to give Dangote per se. They've sold all the crude oil. But they told Nigerians that Dangote will be buying crude oil in Naira. Now Dangote is going to Brazil, is going to USA, Texas to go and buy crude oil. When Nigeria no get refinery, you are importing petrol, you are exporting crude oil, importing petrol and diesel. Now you have 45,000 capacity refinery. Now you are now importing crude oil. So if they explain Nigeria to you, and you say you understand, but you are not angry, they no explain better. They no explain them better. So Dangote, normally if people like me talk, they go say, it's because I am ignorant. You don't understand what you are talking about. Okay. Tifnumbu's government they shoot the first shot. We are now aware of. It is not as bad as they wanted to present it, right? As if that is not enough. They don't go drop one report for Reuters, international media. The Dangote refinery is lying that its refinery can produce something, even though it is not completed, that they spoke to 4 sources. 4 sources. And these sources told them that Dangote's crude distillation unit is broken. See, if you can't hear me, I would advise you increase the volume of your device. Please increase the volume. You should be able to hear me. Whatever is wrong with your device, that shouldn't be on me, right? And stop telling me to increase the volume, increase my voice. You want me to be screaming? So you should increase the volume of your device, please. So Dangote was shocked. Who are these people again? At least we had a meeting and they said that we are sorting it out and all of that. You know what I mean? So Dangote has no crude distillation unit. Why would anybody put that report out? So Dangote had to issue a statement today. Our attention has been drawn to a misleading report suggesting that our refinery's crude distillation unit is experiencing issues and that we are reselling crude oil. We categorically deny these claims. The Dangote refinery is not authorized to sell crude oil purchased from Nigeria, and our CDU is fully operational and functioning optimally. We advise the public to disregard these false narratives, which are likely driven by interests opposed to the local refining of fuels. Here is all of this, so they are coming from Tifnumbu, but I'm coming to that. Here is what one of them had to say on this matter. Please listen.
Well, thank you very much. I think what is happening is a case of two, shall we say, elephants, fighting. And in this case, it's a case of a situation that was deliberately, made up in order to frustrate a genuine effort by a concerned citizen of this country and person of Aliko Dangote by coming forward to rescue Nigeria from what has become an albatross on the economy of this country. When you look at the implications of subsidies and the fact that Nigeria is about number 6, of the exporting countries, crude oil exporting countries, and the same country has no refineries working for over 25 years now. We have 4 moribund refineries. We have markets that it's not a matter of economic science or economic viability of the refineries. It's just a case of people that willfully damage these assets for their own selfish interest, because you can't explain how you spend over 12 trillion naira on what you call turnaround maintenance. And today, as we speak, you don't have one of the 4 refineries working for Nigeria.
Okay, so you said there is a deliberate attempt
to
frustrate Dangote Refinery. How so? And what proof do you have for that?
No, the proof is I mean, before Dangote embarked on this, there were meetings with NNPC. There's no way you will come to establish a refinery in Nigeria without getting license from NNPC. It's not possible. And to the extent that NNPC even said they are taking up 20% of the equity in that refinery. So which means government is very much aware of this gigantic project that is coming to our client. So how come, at the time that the refinery requires the feedstock, which is the crude oil, you will now play some kind of game to deny the supply of the crude oil?
Okay, but Dangote Refinery also, even before or during the construction of that refinery, he did get concessions from government, whether there was a lot of support, whether you talk about Forex, some loans, and here and there. So is it exactly true that the government wants to frustrate him when all along he's been supported heavily by government, not only in the refinery, other ventures too?
There is a political undertone here in the whole thing happening, because remember that this refinery came to being during the immediate past administration. So if you talk of the government support, it came from that government.
So you are saying that the current government is not supporting
for some reasons that
business.
They have not told Nigerians, because nobody understands the kind of language they are speaking. The issue is that you should not allow politics to interfere with the economic future of this country.
So are you directly accusing President Bola Tinubu's administration of trying to scuttle Dangote's businesses, especially the refinery?
It's not even the administration. It's the President Ahmed Bola Tinubu himself. I'm indicting, because he's the Minister of Petroleum Resources today. And he needs to step up to the plate, to tell Nigerians what exactly is happening. Why is it that these very important projects, not only to Dangote, because you have to understand what is coming to save us. If you know that we spent over 27 or 25 trillion naira, on subsidies, and we are spending, even this year, that government is saying they're not spending money on subsidy, they are spending almost 5.4 trillion naira, more than even what we spent in 2023, which is about 3.3 trillion naira. So, and what impact of this, what devastating impact it has on the state of the economy itself, because where are we having inflation? Why is it that monetary policies are not working? Because the component of your inflation is from the foreign exchange. which you are spending about 70% of it on importation of crude of the petroleum products. Now you have a project that will save you that amount of money, and you are frustrating it. So it doesn't add. Well, thank you very much. I think what is happening is.
You get it. Now, here is something you should know. Under Bokwari, there was this arrangement that NNPC of this Mele Kyari, the man where they're supposed tie him hand, tie him leg, tie him to a drum, take him to Bar Beach in Lagos. After the judge says death by firing squad, that guy. Here, the name of Angodo, UVG. Oando, they signed a deal to buy one Oando's what do you call subsidiary. Okay. Now you see this Oando subsidiary, right? Is into, according to them, they say this Oando subsidiary was pretty much into refinery, refining, distributing, and stuff like that when it comes to crude oil, right? So, sorry, give me one sec. Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. So there is this company called the OVG. In fact, is that called OVG? Yeah, OVH rather. OVH. I don't know the full meaning. Okay. So you see, this OVH is Oando owned, because this OVH of a company is in charge of all Oando filling stations in Nigeria. And who is the owner of the Oando? His name is Wale Tifnumbu. So they said that Wale Tifnumbu call is the nephew to this Escobati, Bola Tifnumbu. You get that now? So last year, after Tifnumbu was sworn in, this OVH company that signed this supposed bought by the, okay, let me explain what they said they did. It's like the NNPC in Nigeria, okay? They decided to just buy a company. You see, this company is into petroleum distribution. They have filling stations in Nigeria, okay? They manage it. They handle all the filling stations. You know that NNPC, they are also into refining. They have NNPC have refineries. NNPC also have petrol stations, NNPC depot, where you can also go to and buy fuel in Nigeria. So you see this OVH owned by Tifnumbu, was now bought by NNPC. So that simply means that all of the Oando filling stations, they were supposed to have become NNPC by that arrangement, because it was NNPC that bought it. So this same NNPC of Mele Kyari went to the loan market. Okay, he went there and they got $1.4 billion to say they were also buying shares in Dangote Refinery. They borrowed the money, so to buy 20% shares in Dangote Refinery. Just like that same deal too, right? So it's like NNPC under Bokwari, they had a deal with Tifnumbu's business, as well as Dangote's business. Everything has to do with oil, right? So immediately Tifnumbu came in. Maybe NNPC was supposed to be the one to just take over the company they just acquired. In a publicized headline, NNPC acquires OVH subsidiary of Oando. No, it is the other way around. Okay, so those who own this, they collected money. Then NNPC now make the OVH to be in charge of anything that has to do with refining crude oil, importing or distribution of petroleum finished products in Nigeria. this contract became stronger, and that is why between 2023 and 2024, Nigeria imported from zero in 2022 to zero in 2023, then from zero in 2023 to over $2 billion spent on importing finished petrol and diesel from Malta. Meanwhile, this Wale Tifnumbu, another Adewale Tifnumbu, are the supposed part owners of this refinery in Malta. I said, okay, go not to give you a headache now. Like, okay, what are you? Okay, don't worry. It is my job. I can always repeat myself. But this time around, in a short form, okay? Under Bokwari, these criminals, they had a deal. And that deal was NNPC needed people to help them and do refining crude oil, as well as importing. So these guys don't have the ability to refine crude oil, but they are still taking and say, well, Shebi, you are distributing fuel. So yeah, you'll be good. So it was like a contract, a deal, secured by Wale Tinubu. Now, instead of this company to become Nigerians' property, so Wale Tinubu and co, they cashed out for selling this company. But now the company come take over the role of NNPC. You know, it was supposed to be like, okay, we'll just use your structure. Okay, you already have the structure of distribution, so we just use that now. And I'm talking about like they've now taken over the department of NNPC Nigeria. The entire department is now owned by the OVH, Wale Tifnumbu. So anything that, when you're talking about importing fuel and all of this stuff, NNPC and all that, right? Who are those who are collecting subsidy money? Now you have them. Wale Tifnumbu representing your president, your Tifnumbu. So they are ripping Nigeria off. And if Dangote Refinery should go on, then people are going, probably that money that grew from zero to over $2 billion in a year will dry up again. When Bokwari was there, the highest imported fuel from Malta in a single year was $53 million. $53 million in 8 years. So under Tifnumbu, from that same Malta, and they say it's because of the low quality, whatever, but in the last 1 year, Tifnumbu's government has actually paid importers over $2 billion to bring something from Malta. Now that gives a better understanding to why Dangote and everybody who is around Dangote, they know who are those coming for him. So the question is why? I just gave you the answer. That is why. Dangote refinery can work the same way Nigeria refineries can work. It just can't work except if it's ready to sell it to them. They can take it from him and then just dismantle it. They don't want any refinery to work. It is easier to bring the fuel in and cash out that way and milk you dry. No doubt. This is not like trying to kind of defend Dangote himself, could deserve any defense. But this is the truth. He knows it himself. Everyone around him knows. They are just wondering why. Why is Tifnumbu trying to do this now? Abba, what did happen? So we have decided to send Alaji his own beret. He's going to protest on the 1st of August. I just thought you should know. Now talking about the 1st of August. Yeah. This is where the Abobakus are going to begin to have the rise in their blood pressure. And I love it. Sometimes they are like, they can always be like a cricket. That's always making sound. Like that. But by the time you walk closer, the moment you walk away and you walk away again, like that. But that's not how cricket sounds. So I can't remember how cricket sounds. So just take it that way. You get what I mean? Low lives. That Even if you they cost them, they go just sit down there. Ogu kill you. They say, Ogu kill you too. All of you, Abobaku, ni kure. Ni kure too. They will never take their phone and type it. You get what I mean? But there are times that they can't hold it together. I'm going to reply this way. Why are you cutting us now? Why are you? I say, oh, ni kure times 1 million. Here is the one of the faces mobilizing, for the end